Hi, chickens. Hi, duckies. We have a ton of wild raspberries this year because we've actually had rain this summer, but just all over. There's not real big clumps of them. They're kind of sporadic, but there's a lot of them. Here's a decent little patch of them. So much more flavor than the ones that you get in the store. Oh, you. So I have a nice compost pile going back there with all this dirty bedding. In the fall, after we harvest everything from our garden, I'll throw this on the raised beds, and it will be some pretty good fertilizer for the garden. So here's a quick little update to this area. This is where the woodshed was sitting. So that's completely gone now. Everything's hauled away. And now I have this wall tent set up. This is a cheap Walmart wall tent. And this is kind of our storage shed right now. Here is the old tiny house. So that's completely torn down as well. Some people were asking, why was I going to tear down that tiny house? The reason is I built that thing so cheap and lightweight and not fancy at all. We knew it was going to be a temporary living situation for us, you know, while we built our cabin. But yeah, this is all that the tiny house was built on, just a old snowmobile trailer. I think it's 8 foot by 12 foot. And yeah, we definitely got our money's worth out of this little tiny house. And the nice thing now is I can use this, you know, now I have a trailer, so I can haul building materials for the new cabin build. And if you remember, that tiny house was all metal siding all the way around it. So I salvaged all of that. I'm gonna put that on the log cabin workshop, so that way that has a little bit more of a permanent roof instead of that tarp. And then that log cabin workshop will be pretty much situated for many years. So it'll make a nice outbuilding. The rain barrels are really, really low. It needs to rain soon. And this is still the only way we're getting our water is from the rain as of right now. Normally this flows way better, but the water level's probably only like right here right now. And to the best of my knowledge, we have not had that bear come around, that one that came around a few times last year and wrecked bird feeders and grabbed some garbage. Haven't had any issues this year yet, still early. But I haven't even really seen any bear poop or any sign around this, this property in the immediate area anyways, but who knows. Hopefully we don't have any issues this year. Getting there. Well, the garden's all weeded. It is a little dry though. It definitely needs a drink, so I'm gonna run to the lake and grab some water. This is what I've been using to get water when I need to. This is the barrel. It's a bear barrel that we use for our backcountry camping trip. So this is what we put our food in, and it makes a nice tight seal with this little clamp. So that way, it's not bear proof, but it's bear resistant. But the big thing is it keeps the water out, keeps the scent concealed in here since it is a tight seal. But this thing's like the perfect size for hauling water. You know, it's manageable. It's 60 liters, I believe. So 2 of these is enough to do our garden and the pails. And it's nice because it has a carrying harness on it, you know, so you can put it on like a backpack, which is how we portage it when we're going from lake to lake when we got to carry the canoe and our gear across on our Boundary Waters trips. You know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. This lake is literally right down the road from our place. Pretty much throw a rock out my driveway and hit it, so. So that's one way of doing it. Last year I just took that whenever we needed water and we weren't getting much rain. I would just take that, my old car battery, and that 12-volt transfer pump and hook that to a battery, run a garden hose to the lake, and then fill up bigger barrels, and then bring them back, and then use those barrels as holding tanks, and then drive around with my little water truck and water our garden off of the 12-volt pump. And it actually worked really good. But this is just as easy. It actually takes a long time to fill up the barrels when you're using that little pump, so just dipping the 5-gallon stock pot in and filling this up takes like a minute. When I was living in Alaska off-grid with no plumbing or anything, I actually found it to be much easier to live there. Because not a whole lot of people have wells up there because you have to go so deep. They cost a lot of money. So they have water stations everywhere where you can go and just fill up water. It's like 2 cents a gallon. It's like a little gas pump nozzle, but it's water. And yeah, super cheap, and they're everywhere. So I mean, you could just go anywhere and get water. So it's really nice. Here in Minnesota, there's nothing like that at all. So if you don't have a well, and it's not raining much, if you're relying on rainwater, you're kind of screwed. Skeeter. What are you doing under there? Is it a nice cool spot for you? So Sierra and I decided where we're gonna put our fire pit. Right here, close proximity to the cabin. Nice pine border. We got a white pine right here. Balsam firs around it. These will only get bigger and it'll be a nice spot for a fire pit. Our garden's right over here, so we're gonna get this dug in and have a fire in it tonight. See what that looks like, eh? I don't like when people go too deep with them.
Yeah.
And I can tell. It's actually pretty good. Yeah. Cute?
Love it.
Is that good enough for now?
Yeah.
Well, the fire pit is in, so I think Sierra and I are going to have our dinner, and then we're going to have our first fire in our new pit tonight. She leaves her dance camp for a week, so she's going to be gone for a week, so this is kind of our last night together for a while. So what better time to have our first fire in the fire pit?
The thing it wasn't deeper, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to go. Would be the easier.
Oh, we're still done. We're done pretty sharp. Give it the old Joe and Zach survival treatment. It really is the best way to start a fire. Well, since I'm around and we're going to be outside having a fire, I'm going to let the birds free range tonight.
Flower had to back up. Hi, chicken.
I think the chickens are pretty stoked.
They're so happy.
I'm gonna have to go show them where that is after a bit.
Where'd it go?
Over here by the house.
Oh.
Good duckies. Good duckies. Nope.
Skeeter.
I guess I saved 5 of them. One more.
There you go.
There you go. You guys are
Good
getting
duck.
it. You guys are getting it. So that's pretty much what a typical summer day looks like around here. Still waiting on my building permit for the new cabin build. That's supposed to come in the mail. I don't know when. They said 3 weeks. That was a week ago, so a couple more weeks. Hopefully sooner, but we will see. But yeah, just continuing to plug away around here. We have a big project coming up. So that's going to be in the next video. We're extending the loft all the way up to the front of the cabin, so we're going to have a full upstairs. But to do that, you know, it's a 20-foot span, which is kind of a long way for a beam. So we're going to add a center wall down the middle that's going to separate the living room from the kitchen. So it's going to look a lot different in there. It's going to be quite the remodel. and I got to run some wires for a couple more lights in there, a couple more outlets. So it's gonna look a lot different. That center wall will be all tongue and groove wood, which I think will look nice. We're gonna move the loft stairs, so it's gonna be a big deal. So stay tuned for that. That will come out sometime, probably next weekend at the latest. Hopefully I can get it out by next Friday or so. I'll try to shoot for, but we will see. So stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna keep plugging away around here as much as I can. There's plenty to do. Waiting on that permit. As soon as I get it, we're gonna start. So that's kind of the hold up, is I'm just waiting to get that permit in the mail one of these days. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you soon.